Super fun. Love this. And am I looking at the camera? No. No.
Ready, guys? Ready to go live? Ready to go. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to ILTACON live from the Gaylord National Harbor at the 2025 International Legal Technology Association's annual conference. I'm Ari Kaplan, the principal of Ari Kaplan Advisors and one of the lucky hosts for this series. And I'm with the co-chairs. Nobody better. It's amazing. So I'm here with Donna Frugoli, the lead application support analyst at Cypress Shaw, and Brian Clarke, the cybersecurity manager at Porzio, Bromberg, and Newman. Wonderful to see you both. How you doing?
Wonderful. Great to see you too, Ari.
Great to be here.
I just had an interview with Donna, and it was awesome, and I'm excited for this really wonderful encore. So, Donna, let's start with you. What's it like being a co-chair of ILTACON?
It is the most rewarding, overwhelming experience of my life. To be able to be part of such a community that wants to learn and wants to contribute, wants to give their ideas to our sessions, wants to speak at our sessions. It is just makes my heart sing every time I see this group come together.
Heart singing, Brian. I think that's going to be tough. But what do you see as the best part of serving in this role for ILTA?
Like Donna is saying, just the joy that this conference brings people. Like when I spoke with our keynote speaker, Ryan Campbell, who was terrific, and he asked, like, what's the audience like? And I said, it's tech, tech people working for law firms you wouldn't think would be the kind of people that would be so open and sharing, and but they are. Like, and it makes ILTA so unique, which makes ILTACON so unique, is just the willingness of our audience to be there for each other, to support each other, to learn, but also to uplift others, and to be leading that, to be a part of it, to serve in some small role as a caretaker, during this time is just amazing, and it's a privilege to do it.
Donna, tell us about your experience as a volunteer for ILTA. How long have you been volunteering?
So I have been volunteering for ILTA over 15 years. I started with just contributing to the communities online, see somebody's question, answer their question, help write a blog, help write an article, and then that grew into being part of the content team that came up with the webinars that happen throughout the year and contributing to that. And then someone said, hey, you'd be great to speak at ILTACON. So I spoke at a session, and that person said, you'd be great to be part of the committee. So I started as a session coordinator, same time as Brian, same year, 2019. The two of us started as session coordinators together, and then we both became team coordinators together, and now we get to serve as co-chairs together. So I think that's just the most amazing thing, that we've been part of each other's journey for so long.
Absolutely.
Many years ago, I interviewed a leader in our space. She was working at a firm in Chicago. Her name is Joy Heath Rush. And it was very funny. I don't know if it was a year, maybe she was the co-chair, but I remember her enthusiasm as an attendee, as part of the volunteer community, and just wonderful to see what her leadership has done and what your leadership has done. Really, congratulations. So, Brian, what do you see as different about this year's ILTA conference than years past?
So every year it's a little bit different. That the venue changes, except between 26 and 27. Both years will be in Nashville. So there's different business partners here. There's ones that you always see, like obviously I manage and NetDocs are always going to be here, and then there's always startups, which is exciting. Companies just trying to break into the space. Every year the content is different. We try to evolve it. We don't run the same sessions every year, but we try to build upon sessions that really resonated with people. Like, we saw a lot of sessions yesterday and today that were just chock full of people, and not just full of people, but full of people with questions, engaging with the speakers, engaging with each other. So we try to build on that. Every year we try to have content that's relevant to everybody, and I think we're hitting the mark so far. I'm happy with the conversations I've had with people. I try to pull an undercover boss on them and say, hey, see him in an elevator, hey, how did you like your session? Like, oh, it was great. Like, I really learned a lot. And they're like, hey, are you that pirate guy? And then they figure it out.
The pirate guy always gives it away. It's the bird.
Yeah.
The bird will give it away. You guys mentioned some large established companies and newer companies that have really grown up here. I actually was privileged to feature the CEO and others at Definely on my virtual lunch at noon, which I broadcast right from the show floor, and they talked about being here in the early years, and now that a lot of these companies have become quite successful. How does the venue change the frame of reference as a coordinator? You mentioned it being in Nashville the next couple of years. It was in Nashville last year, and so I like this space. I went to law school in DC. It's a nice area. How does that give you kind of shape the canvas of what this is going to look like?
Yeah, it definitely changes who attends. When we're in DC, we get a lot of people. We've had FBI agents, we've had congressmen, we've had individuals who wouldn't necessarily come to our conference because it's further away. So we get to take advantage of some speakers' availability that we wouldn't necessarily have in other areas. Earlier today, I went and was part of a group that is a DC group working on preventing sexual harassment, and I thought that was amazing. And anywhere else in the country, they probably wouldn't be able to attend. They're a not-for-profit organization. But because we're hosting it here, they're able to have their session here. So I thought that was amazing. You get to the Midwest now, you get a little bit different flavor of individuals who are attending, and a little bit more small firm comes there because that area is that way. So you do get a little local flavor no matter where you hold the conference. But to be honest, Ari, we're outgrowing every space. We're in 11 hotels this time, and there's no sign of it getting smaller.
If you're in legal tech, you're in a good spot, and it's pretty interesting. So speaking of that, Brian, things are changing really fast. I mentioned to someone, it's like the bus is moving forward and people are trying to get on, get off, but the bus is still continuing in a direction and just accelerating in that. In an environment where the topics are ever changing, how do you anticipate what's going to be interesting now? I'm guessing several months ago you were determining what the topics would be. How do you make that assessment?
It's an excellent question. It's the committee works really hard to bring in those topics that are relevant, and we start in November, December, soliciting ideas and going through the ideas. We look for common themes, like what do people want to learn about? And one of our speakers said yesterday, the pace of change has never been faster. So you're getting at, hey, picking something in December or January, by August, is this still going to be relevant? So we try to pick topics that no matter what, even if certain things may happen in the news, new features may come out, but we're still talking about, the general topic will be current. And if we need to, put in a slide or two about something, hey, this just happened last month, let's talk about this real quick. We do have, we leave an open session slot on each team for a just-in-time session as well, where that team may choose to hold back until around May or June before even developing anything. We're just going to hold it. It's just going to be an open slot on the ILTACON calendar, and then we'll decide what the content is going to be. So that's one way. We can't do that for every session. It would be way too frantic to start planning everything 3 months before a conference this big, but we do try to be agile in that way and recognize that even with the best of intentions, things break fast, things happen fast, and the committee does a lot of hard work to try to make sure the sessions are meaningful, all of them.
Well, credit to the planning team, because the topics are absolutely timely, and it was happening quite a while back. So, Donna, there was a book signing today for Lessons in Leadership. I had just recently featured you on my own podcast, talking to you and your peers who contributed to the book.
Yeah.
What are the lessons from that book you'd like attendees at this year's conference to really take away?
Grow your network. Learn from others. Take every opportunity that you have as a learning opportunity. And anyone can be a leader. You don't have to have CIO in your title or manager in your title to lead. You can lead a small team. You can lead your family. There's always a place where that leadership can come out, no matter what your title is. And when you have that, look back and help someone else step into that also, so that we all can grow together.
Brian, where do people start this journey? So you mentioned leading smaller teams or picking up small projects, listening for those opportunities, but some people are not necessarily attuned to it. You're obviously the co-chairs of this enormous conference, but some people don't have that sort of natural ability. So what would you recommend as a place for people to get started, even in their ILTA journey?
So I'm a little bit biased, but as Donna mentioned before, we started on the same team together in 2019, and you mentioned Joy when she was working at Latera years ago. My first ILTACON was here in 2018. First opportunity to go. I had not really volunteered with ILTA at all. I might have hosted like a lunch and learn or breakfast at the firm I was working at in New York, but never really volunteered at scale for ILTA. And then Joy had a wrap-up session, and she just said, like, if you had a great week, if you love ILTACON, consider volunteering for part of the team. I felt like I got nothing to offer. I haven't volunteered before. I don't know what that is, but it's like, okay, Joy just had such, lack of a better word, joy in sharing, and I really felt compelled then. I was like, okay, well, I'll help out. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll help out. And when they interviewed me, I said, hey, it was my first conference. I loved it. I'll do whatever you need me to do. And I started out by being a session coordinator and helping come up with session ideas. So, conference planning committee is a great way to start. Many of our volunteers on the team, that's their first volunteering experience with ILTA, similar to Donna and I. So it's a great way to get started. It's a great way to meet people. There's a lot of micro learning or micro opportunities that if you don't want to commit to something for 8 months, which is understandable, but on the ILTA website, volunteer. There's a lot of different options there. So just pick something and you can contribute. Like, everyone has something valuable to share. Don't think that people don't want to hear from you or that you can't contribute, because you absolutely can.
Donna, how do you maintain stamina for a conference that takes place over multiple days and in such a large venue?
It is a marathon, not a race. And I think you hear that everywhere that you go. But you really need to take care of yourself as well as experience everything. You're going to have, FOMO is a real thing. You're going to be at one place, you're going to want to be somewhere else. So really looking at what the offering is, thinking about what you personally are here for. Are you here to meet with the business partners? Are you here to learn about a particular topic? Are you here to network with people? Should we be, want to spend more time in the receptions? And then feel out what you want to gain and then build your week around that. And make sure that you give yourself time and grace to have a quiet moment and not be like, oh my gosh, I have got to run from the morning to night, because you will wear yourself out. There is no way that anyone could sustain that for an entire week.
Brian, Donna mentioned the idea of networking, and we have these little badges that turn colors, and so there you go. Amazing. So how do you recommend that attendees leverage the technology that the conference offers to give them the greatest advantage?
Definitely the click is, it's a great way. You meet somebody, you have a great conversation after a session, and then they're like, instantly, if you're like me, you'll walk into the room, poof, their name is gone. With using the quick technology, like, hey, I connected with this person, and then it has their information on there. So definitely the app has, all of our sessions there, and, all the receptions that are open to everybody. So we've really built up, what's available in that app, and we're always open to suggestions, like how can we make things better. Obviously, it's not an app we're developing, but it's from the Visibo company. So we always try to leverage that and make it a little bit better year after year.
Well, I'm Ari Kaplan at the inaugural ILTACON Live, speaking with Donna Frugoli and Brian Clarke, who are the co-chairs of this remarkable event. It's really been a privilege. Thank you both so much.
Thank you so much.